What's up, YouTube? This is Marco Polo back with you. One of my recent videos, I interviewed he appeared to be a homeless man. He says he had a place to go, but he was laying on the side of the street with a sign begging for help. So his name was Emmett, and he was a 73, maybe 74-year-old man. And it looked like life had beaten him down, and he's on his last leg. There's not a lot of time left on the clock for this fella. And it was just an honor to get to meet him, even though maybe his life didn't have the right outcome. And his decisions that he made in his life wound him up on the side of a highway, destitute and alone. Now, some of the comments I got on that video were a little disturbing. One of them in particular, speaking about boomer and Gen X type stuff that's sort of along that context, that people of that age have had their life and they should just go ahead and expire or, be gone. I hope that when you reach that age, and especially the one who made that comment, that they don't feel what it is to be without like that man on the side of the road, to not even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. And that's literally facts. That life doesn't hand you such a card that you're destitute, and especially at that age where you're so vulnerable and you cannot even help yourself. You're beyond your working years, beyond your strong years. Your mind is starting to go. The faculties of the body is failing you. And here you are out in 95-degree heat on the side of the interstate, on the side of a highway close to the interstate. And I just don't see how people can be so cold-hearted. And I understand, we live in a world and time where people don't care about each other so much, or they appear not to, and they say things or they express themselves in ways that lets people know that they're not important. And it pushes the issue that it's every man for himself and every woman for themselves and crabs in a bucket, just hateful, all the way around, jealousy, envy, and just straight up despair. Now, a lot of, times you would hear people say, oh, it's hurt people who attempt to hurt people. Sure. But there's no reason or excuse for you to be like the ones that you feel hurt you. So if you fall off the edge of society and you are of working age or younger, and you never actually feel like you got your opportunity, things didn't work out for you, you still have a chance. And you might not believe it, and go ahead, unsubscribe from me, and even leave a bad comment. Say something bad about me, about, saying that there's no hope in this world, because there is hope in this world. You just got to use what's in between your ears and figure it out. Now, hard times are here. We are living in hard times. And is there a lot of opportunity? In small ways, there is. If you can make it through these hard times don't last always. It's not always going to be so difficult. And a lot of times people say, oh, it's just going to get worse. Why? Because it always has. It always has gotten worse. The trajectory of our nation and our economy is toward the bottom of the toilet. Yeah, it's all flushing. It is. But things need to flush so that a new thing can come along. And prosperity will come when despair rolls through. That's an old saying that I heard after a hurricane passed in our area. It was really bad. Houses were destroyed all over the place. And an old man wheeling on a beach cruiser bike, old dude, rolled up. And me and my brother are working out in someone's yard, cleaning up tree limbs, chainsawing trees, cutting things up, cleaning up the yards of people who couldn't do it for themselves. And the old man he rode his bike up on us, and he's like, hey man, how y'all doing? And I was like, man, not so good. Not so good. He said, let me tell you something, young man. The winds of despair blow prosperity in another direction. Find that prosperity. And he rode his bike away. And I was just bewildered. Like, what is this dude talking about? Like, we just got hit by a hurricane the night before. Everything is a disaster in my town. And this dude's whistling around, riding on a bike, talking about some winds of despair. So I continued to work and I continued to think about what that man was saying. And it stuck in my head. And then it started to make sense. Because of all the difficult times that were upon us, at that very moment, people without power, people were displaced from their houses. There was work all over the place because people needed to pick up their lives and get it back together. So their winds of despair were bringing prosperity toward people who are able-bodied, willing to work and get out there and make some money. So I had the ability to make money. So prosperity was coming to me through the winds of despair. I don't know, just a quick euphemism or story. But anyways, don't be so quick to become like the people who hurt you or the people who don't care about you. You see, if we fall off the edge of society, they don't care. Life goes on for them. Other people won't even look at you, won't even have a thought. If you had your hand out, they won't even give you a nickel. You know, you could be starving and they could be overfed and they'll throw their food in the garbage. I understand this. Growing up, people haven't always been kind and they're not always going to be kind to you. And we don't have to expect that. Matter of fact, I expect them not to be. But that doesn't mean I need to join them. They, in my opinion, are despicable. Their attitudes, the way they are, they stink. They're rotten to the core. That nastiness has seeped into their souls, and they are useless, weak-minded, self-centered, disgusting people. Can I elaborate any more? So why would I want to be like that? Why would I ever want to be like the people who irritate me? The people who wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire? Why would I ever want to be like them? I wouldn't. You know what? Let your light shine, and let it shine brighter than anybody else who would ever try to put your light out. To hell with them. Let it shine. Tough economy, tough world, tough critics. That's fine. Everybody has an opinion and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But we don't have to follow suit with the masses. This is Marco Polo. If anything I say resonates with you, subscribe to my channel, comment below, and have a great day.